Hey everyone, what's going on? And welcome back to The Truth, where I delve into the collegiate and NFL players. Today we'll be talking about Drake May, a highly prospected athlete going into this year's draft. Well, he's in an interesting case. For one hand, he did have a lot of snaps. He got a lot of plays this season. This was his first actual season, not counting his freshman season where he only got one or two minor snaps in games. He had a total of 701 plays, which is fairly good because you can get a general grasp of the mistakes he made, the things he did right, the things he needs to improve on, the things he needs to stop doing. But I gave him a 77% success rating, which is based on my algorithm where I dive into every snap going from was that the right decision? Was that the right execution? Could he have done something better? Could he not have? And he did fairly well, 77% success. That's really freaking good for quarterbacks. I mean, that's really high. That's Caleb Williams' freshman season high. So it is good. However, he did make a lot of big mistakes, almost throwing into double coverages, almost throwing interceptions, taking sacks where he shouldn't have took those sacks, where he should have just threw the ball away. And it's honestly kind of makes sense because this is his first actual season. This is a normal thing to happen, but it is high. If he were say in his junior year thinking about entering the draft, I would tell him no, like you need to work on it. But he does have another year, so it's going to be interesting to see how well he progresses, if he even does progress, which I think he will. A lot of quarterbacks do. But talking about his downs, let's get into that. So Drake May is an electric quarterback. Extreme highs, low lows. Going back to what I was saying before is, he would take some games like Miami, for instance, where you'd have 2 interceptions and 5 sacks. A lot of that would be on him. That'd be him holding onto the ball too much or him throwing into double coverages, not really reading the defense and just kind of hoping for the best. Or, for instance, Clemson, where he played a top 25 college football team, where he had these 2 picks, those sacks that dude, if you just threw it away, live to see another down, that drive could have continued. Well, I kind of throw Clemson as a little gray area because that team struggled against Clemson. Like, they slaughtered North Carolina. But that's really his big mistakes or big drawback is he's going to have some really good plays where he's going to shock you and put balls in incredible places that you didn't think they could be placed, like perfect throws. And then he's going to have those, what are you doing? Why are you throwing into double coverage? Why are you taking that sack? Just take your time before the snap, read the defense, adjust to it, and then just deliver a good ball, which he does do sometimes, not all the time. To give a basic overview, Caleb Williams is an incomplete quarterback. He doesn't have everything put together yet. And that's kind of what you expect for someone in their first year. It's not, he's not going to be perfect. He's going to make a lot of mistakes. This is like a rookie quarterback going into his first year in the NFL. They're going to make a lot of mistakes. They're going to have a lot of growing pains. They're not going to be Patrick Mahomes out the gate. So it's not necessarily refreshing, but good to see because this is a good building block. It's something that he can take on throughout his career and grow from. Now, comparing his stats, the low is big low. It's a really big low because if you go into the NFL football stats, like where you compare passing attempts from each NFL team, he doesn't, you're not going to throw the ball 40, 50 times a game like he is. He's throwing the ball a lot. Like, the ESPN stats are deceiving. He throws the ball way more. If you go into the NFL passing attempts per game, at high, you're going 45 at most, and that's Tampa Bay because they played a lot behind. At low, you're Chicago, But it's like, if you look at the teams who he could possibly go to, Tampa Bay, Minnesota, These are possibly Arizona. I don't really think so. But, these are teams who throw the ball a lot last year because they were behind a lot of the time. Well, not really Minnesota. They're more fourth quarter comeback behind compared to Tampa Bay. Oh, crap. We just got to get wins kind of behind. But it's just like you can't have those big mistakes and still be a starting quarterback at that level. You have to cut down. You can have those minor mistakes and live to see another down, but you can't have that. That's why Kirk Cousins won so many games, was because, look, he had those minor mistakes, but he didn't really necessarily jeopardize that team too much. He did his job. Now going on to some NFL news. Is a bit of a sadder news. It's not the brightest, but we will end on a high note. Going on to Devon A-Chain, a interesting running back coming into this year. He was supposed to be this different type of back that could breathe some different life into that running back core at Miami, where you originally had Miami's running backs as these fast, athletic, elusive backs who could make a man miss, who could blow the top off the defense. Well, you had brought Devon A-Chain when you drafted him to be a different style where you could just say, hey, just go downhill, go beat up a defense, go beat up some linebackers, and give me rep after rep, and then let me have those explosive plays to my other backs, which Miami loves to do. That's their offense. They love to have different running backs do a bunch of different things. They have a running back carousel. That's their style. So it is kind of sad to see Devon A-Chain have a shoulder injury and get taken out, especially during a preseason game. It sucks because you want to see these rookies succeed, especially the running backs, because they don't get paid a lot. Hopefully he's okay. I will try to give an update on that. Secondly, we're going to move on to Jimmy Graham from New Orleans. This is a little somber. From what's being reported right now, he suffered a seizure after practice. Apparently, he was taken to a hospital. We don't know too much after that, but at someone his age, he's a lot older tight end. He's big. He's taken a lot of hits. So to see this happen, it is a little somber, because his story going into it was he didn't get that contract with New Orleans. He moved on. He never was the same guy. He comes back. He wants to not necessarily revive his career, but just be back where he feels home. And to suffer a seizure, to suffer a small setback. Well, I won't say small, but a setback is sad. And hopefully he can come back and be the person he can be, and this won't linger with him, because it is sad. And I have my prayers up for him. I hope he's okay. I hope he is breathing okay. I hope he's, it just happened. It just kind of happened. It was up in there. But he's going to be fine for the rest of his life. That's what I hope for. But, prayers up for him. But we can end off with a little bit of brighter news. Going into Baltimore today, Jadeveon Clowney signing. Kind of interesting. Jadeveon Clowney is probably going to be that defensive end paired with Roquan Smith. Coming into his career, he was never that true number one defensive end. Jadeveon Clowney was always that guy. If you paired him up with a dominant number one, he could be a dominant number two, and they could wreak havoc. You look at when he was paired with J.J. Watt, he did amazing. When he was paired with Myles Garrett, he did amazing. So to see him paired with Roquan Smith, which is what I hope they do, I hope they don't rotate them. I really hope they have Roquan Smith on one side, Jadeveon Clowney on the other. Be really good to see, because Jadeveon Clowney is such a good run defender. You just need someone to take the pressure off of him so he can rush the passer well. It's going to be an interesting dynamic to see, especially in that 3-4 system, which we're going to kind of go back to when he was with the Texans with J.J. Watt. So it's going to be interesting to see. I'm very excited. But that'll be it for today. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment on who you think I should do next. What do you think I should talk about next? If you enjoyed the video, what I can do better, what I should do better, what I can't do that you feel like I should stay away from. Just give me some insight. It's going to be really interesting. Thank you all for